Today is a very exciting day because not only am I tier ranking every single book in the Shadowhunter universe, but I'm also filming on a brand new camera with an actual microphone. Ever since I started my YouTube channel, I have literally been filming on my iPhone, and it was going fine, but it was not going great. And I finally decided to cave and get myself an actual camera with a microphone. And this is the first video that I'm filming on this camera after doing a bunch of test runs to make sure that it's gonna go okay. But this is the first official one, so I'm very excited to get started, and I do hope that you enjoy the better quality because it supposedly is much better quality and it was very expensive, so hopefully it was worth the price. But either way, for today's video, we are going to be tier ranking all the Shadowhunter books. So if you're not familiar with the Shadowhunter universe, I recently did an entire how to read the Shadowhunter universe video, so I will have that link down below in case you want to check it out. I go into the different ways of how you can read all of these books because they're all interconnected and they have things that correlate to each other, and they all take place in the same universe, and they have overlapping characters, and it could be very confusing because there's 20 books and they all somehow connect. So I made a whole video for you in case you have any questions, but if you are already familiar with the Shadowhunter universe, then we could just get straight into it because I'm going to be tier ranking all the books from my favorite to my least favorite. So I did come up with 5 different tier ranks. I hate coming up with tier ranks, so I went pretty simple, straightforward to the point, and I have top of the top, love, big fan, it was all right, and it did not like. So I feel like that is all pretty self-explanatory. So let's just jump straight into the video. All right. Let's start with the first one, which is Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and then Clockwork Princess, which is the 3 books in the Infernal Devices series. So happens to be, I'm pretty sure this is my second favorite series from the entire universe. So I'm going to put the first 2 books on love, and I'm going to put the last book on top of the top because I do absolutely love the entire series, but without a doubt, the last one is my favorite just because of that ending and the epilogue and how everything finally comes together. So I feel like that makes a lot of sense, but just in saying in general, I am a really big fan of the entire series. I love the whole thing. But anyway, next up we've got the Last Hours series. So this is Chain of Gold, Chain of Iron, and then Chain of Thorns. And if you've seen my previous video and you've heard me talk about all of these books in the past, then you know that unfortunately I am not a fan of these books whatsoever. So I'm going to say that I honestly did not like any of them. Actually, you know what? I would say that I liked Chain of Thorns, the last book, a little bit more than the first 2, only because it was the conclusion. And even though I didn't even like the conclusion, I feel like I was just happy that it was finally over. So I did enjoy the ending a little bit more than the first 2 books, even though I really was not a fan of any of them. So you know what? I feel like I gotta take that back a little bit. We're putting all of them on did not like, because honestly, I did not like any of the books in this series. So whatever. Anyway, next up, we've got the entire Mortal Instruments series. So I would say that I am let's see, I might have to change this in a second once I see how this all lays out. But I would say that I'm a really big fan of the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series, but I am not as big of a fan of the second half of it. So I would say that book 4 and then book 5 was all right, but then it happens to be, I really did like the last book in the series. So I would again say that I was a big fan of the last book in the series. So yeah, do I want to even bump that up a little bit more? Because I really do love the entire Mortal Instruments series, but happens to be I love the Clockwork series, the Infernal Devices series even more than the Mortal Instruments series. So I feel like they should not be on the same level. But you know what? Maybe I do like the first book in the series a ton because it's the introduction to the Mortal Instruments series. But then I would equally also like City of Heavenly Fire. So you know what? I feel like this is getting a little bit too confusing. We're just gonna bump this back down. We're gonna say I'm a really, really big fan of, the first 3 books and the last book in the Mortal Instruments series. The middle 2 were all right. I feel like, you know what? This makes a lot of sense. Let's not overthink this. We're gonna move on. Next up, we have Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and then Queen of Air Darkness. So this is the 3 books in the Dark Artifices series. Happens to be, it's my favorite series out of the entire universe. So without a doubt, I am going to say that all 3 of these books are the top of the top. I absolutely love these books. They're my favorite characters. They're my favorite romance. They're my favorite plot line, my favorite literally everything. So really love those books. And then next up, we have the first 2 books in the Eldest Curses series, Red Schools of Magic and then The Lost Book of the White. So I feel like these books were all right. I would say that the first book was just all right, but then the second book, I honestly was a big fan, even though it wasn't like the best of the best. But I will say that I liked the general storyline, like the place where Magnus and Alec were in their lives at the time of this book, I really did like. So even though like the plot line was just all right for me, I was a big fan of the book because I don't know, I enjoyed like that moment in the timeline, if that makes sense. Does it? I don't know, but either way, we're gonna move on. So next up, I have the 3 short story companion books, collections, whatever it is you wanna call it, and happens to be the Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy is one of my favorite books from the entire universe. So without a doubt, it's going at the top of the top. And then the Bane Chronicles, I would say that I was just a big fan of. And then Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy is again one of my favorite books from the entire universe. So I'm gonna have to put this on the top of the top. So why did that go so quickly? I feel like we were sitting here for like literally 3 minutes, but I guess I didn't have a lot of books to tier rank, and also a lot of them were part of actual series, so they all got like jumbled together. But short videos aren't bad videos, so that is all that I have to share with you for today's video. So I am so curious to hear which are your favorite books from the Shadowhunter universe. Do you have the same opinions as me of like, you know, top tiering versus like bottom tiering? I know that a ton of people are big fans of the Last Hour series, but I absolutely hate it, so I know I'm in the minority there. But I'm so curious to hear if some people, you know, feel the same way as I did, that that series absolutely sucked, and also if some of my favorite series are some of your favorite series as well. So leave me a comment down below of how you feel about the Shadowhunter books, if you've read them all or if you still have a couple that are on your TBR. And either way, with that said, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video because I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you're not currently subscribed because I would really appreciate it. And with that said, that's all for today's video. So until next time, enjoy reading.